Alrighty guys, welcome back to another Too Good for Drugs, grade 6, lesson 6, a closer look. So we're going to be talking about alcohol. So, we're going to go through a couple sections. So section 1, things aren't always what they seem. Can anyone tell me what some ways to refuse peer pressure assertively are? So I'm not really going to cover over that. We'll probably go into another lesson at some other time about peer pressure. So go ahead and comment on that. Excuse me. So attached in our Google Classroom, as well as being shown here, we're going to be working off of workbook page 11, the very first section. So in box number 1, I want you to look at these things. So box 1, 2, and 3. In box 1, I want you to look at the two shapes labeled A and B and comment which letter you feel is bigger. So A or B. In box number 2, look at the two inner circles and comment the letter of the circle that you think is larger. And in box number 3, look at the two lines labeled A and B and comment the letter of the line that you think is longer. So you might be surprised to know that they are all exactly the same. And number 1, the shapes are exactly the same size. They just look different because shape B is offset to the right. And number 2, the inner circles in number 2 are exactly the same size. The different sizes of the outer circle create the illusion that the inner circles are different. So these giant circles and these little circles are what makes them look different. And then number 3, the positioning of the arrows in number 3 make the lines appear different in length, but they are actually exactly the same. So today, we're going to talk about alcohol. Believe it or not, it is considered a drug, and yes, it is legal. It's much like prescription drugs. They are legal. They are drugs. So there are 3 types of alcoholic beverages. I want you to comment if you think you know what those 3 are. I'm going to give you a second to do that. So there are 3: beer, wine, and liquor. Good job if you got them. So I'm going to read you a small passage with a riddle at the end, and I want you to think about these things. So I'm going to go ahead and read you the riddle. So, what friend ordered the drink that contains the most alcohol? And comment who you think had the most. So, due to some technical errors, I had already recorded this video and somehow it managed to erase itself. So the writing down of the names and stuff has already been done. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. One evening, 3 guys over the age of 21 went to a bar. Pause there real quick. Why is it important that the guys are all over the age of 21? If you want to comment that. But 21 is the legal drinking age. So if you're drinking under the age of 21, you're breaking the law. So, these 3 guys sat down, and the bartender asked what they would like to drink. The first guy, Herman, ordered a 12-ounce bottle of beer. At this point, I'd be writing down Herman, 12-ounce, and beer. So the second guy, Hobart, I didn't choose these names, ordered a 5-ounce glass of wine. At this point, I'd be writing down Hobart, 5-ounce, and wine. And the third guy, Oscar, ordered a mixed drink made with 1.5 or 1.5 ounces of liquor. And I'd also be writing Oscar, 1.5 ounces, and liquor. As you can see, I've already done that. So I want you to think about this real quick. Which one do you think contains the most alcohol? Would it be the 12-ounce beer, the 5 ounce of wine, or the 1.5 ounces of liquor? It might surprise you to know that the answer to the riddle is all 3 drinks contain the same amount of alcohol. Which of these types of alcohol contains the same amount of alcohol per serve? Each of these types of alcohol contain the same amount of alcohol per serving. So they all pack the same punch. One 12-ounce beer has the same amount of alcohol as one 5-ounce glass of wine or 1.5 ounces of liquor. The amount of alcohol consumed is what affects the body, not the type of alcoholic drink. In the case of a teenager or anyone under the age of 21, that consumes any amount of alcohol could negatively affect their body. It could stop the growth of things. So to lead into that, we're going to do section number 2, brain drain. Keep wanting to say brain damage. I'm going to read a statement, and I want you to comment with true or false. I'm going to read them, and then I'll go over whether they're true or false at the end. So number 1, alcohol gives people energy. Alcohol gives people energy. Number 2, alcohol affects the brain. Alcohol affects the brain. And number 3, regardless of age, alcohol affects everyone's brain the same way. Regardless of age, alcohol affects everyone's brain the same way. Go ahead and comment whether you think any of those are true or false. So going over number 1. Number 1, alcohol gives people energy. That is false. Alcohol is actually a depressant, so it means it slows you down. It can put you in a depressive state and make you not feel the way you want to feel. And it slows the body down immensely. So number 2, alcohol affects the brain. That is true. Alcohol is a psychoactive drug, which means it can cause your brain to malfunction or act in ways that is not normal. So if you drink alcohol, and those of you who have consumed alcohol might know, if you've consumed enough that things seem to sway, or that you can't keep your balance because you feel like you're on a boat or something, that affects your equilibrium, which is what in your body helps you keep your balance. It can severely affect those things, which causes psychoactive effects. At the same time, it can also cause, in some cases, has caused hallucinations. It's not common and it's not normal, but it does happen in some cases. So number 3, regardless of age, alcohol affects everyone's brain the same way. That is false. Your brain is still growing and alcohol can stop that growing process. You don't want to consume alcohol until you're at least 21, simply because that's the legal age of drinking. However, consuming alcohol can stop or slow the growth of your brain. It can severely impact those processes. And you need those things to continue on with life, to try and have a better, not to try and have a better life, but to try and learn more things, to be able to hold the capacity of things. It could end lots of things. It could stop the process of growing in certain aspects with your brain. So our brains work hard from birth to start growing and processing that it needs to function. It has to learn how to control your body and what it needs to do to function in the now. So when you're born, your body is new to the world. It doesn't know the elements. It doesn't know what's going on. So it's up to the brain to try and figure out what it needs to do to survive, to what it needs to do to control your body, the functions of your body, to breathe and how to scream and kick and bite and to do those different things. And as you learn, your brain increases in capacity to try and hold the memories of all those things and to remember how to do those things. So the last section of this is advertising. So we're going to try and understand it a little bit. I'm not a professional advertiser of any kind, and I can't speak to the full effect of advertising. However, I do know that in certain companies, they task a person within their company or a few people within the company to advertise for their company. And what that means is their job is to make a consumer such as yourself and I want to use or have their product. So let's say you're scrolling through Facebook and you see an advertisement, a video of a bunch of people running around on the beach with a drink called a Bahama Mama. Yes, it is an alcoholic beverage. And they are just sucking that bad boy down and are having the time of their life. And right then and there, that tells you, or it's supposed to activate in your head that they're having a great time while also drinking alcohol. I want to have a great time and also drink that same alcohol. And the goal of that advertisement is to try and make you want to either drink that Bahama Mama, or in some cases people don't want to drink that drink, but still want to have that experience, and will make them want to have what they prefer to drink, so a beer or a wine or something, while also on the beach. And that also may encourage them to go to a bar to try and have that same feeling. It is a psychological effect of the brain to try and convert to tell you drinking is okay, and that if you drink, things aren't going to happen, or it could help you. And this isn't necessarily the exact goal of the things. Again, the job of the advertiser is to try and sell the product, so they want you to drink that Bahama Mama. But in a lot of cases, what happens is Joe watches that same commercial, but he doesn't drink Bahama Mamas. He prefers to drink Corona, which is a beer. Well, Joe might go to a bar to drink beer because he saw that commercial and said to himself, well, that looks like fun. Maybe if I go to drink, I'll have that same amount of fun, but instead of at the beach, I'll have it at the bar. Or a lot of common places, he'll invite some friends over, he'll go to the store and pick up beer and try to have that same effect at his house or at a friend's house, or so forth and so on. So we have to be weary about those things, because we have to remember that everybody that's on that advertisement, one, is an actor, two, they're not allowed to drink. So that beverage that looks like a Bahama Mama is not actually a Bahama Mama. It's probably some sort of concoction that they can consume that consists of water or soda and shaved ice, stuff like that. So we have to remember that the advertisements we see, though they look awesome and look like fun, aren't necessarily true, or what they seem. And that is entirely up to us to try and have to remember that we cannot put ourselves in their shoes. So with that being said, that is Too Good for Drugs, Lesson 6, alcohol. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below, and I will try to respond to them as best as I can. I apologize for the graininess of the video. Most of you who come to the Boys and Girls Club know where I'm at. For those of you who don't, I'm actually at the Boys and Girls Club today. So if you have questions, comment. I will try to respond to your comments. Otherwise, I hope this was informative to you, and I will see you next week with another lesson. We will probably be talking either about tobacco or marijuana. So have a great week, guys.